Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is my fifth attempt to make this video this morning. The devil is a liar. I hope it comes through clearly for you. Once again, I'll tell my story. I recently began to partake of a class, a foraging class, that's being offered, advocated by one of the Hebrew groups on YouTube. I signed up for the class, and in our third week of the class, we began to learn how to make tinctures using alcohol and soaking flower substances and roots and things of that nature in the tinctures to make healing liquids and things like that. And so, after doing that, I got the alcohol and soaked the tinctures. I made about 5 different varieties of herbs and put it in my cabinet. The next day, I noticed that there was a presence in my house. I mean, let's just be real. There was a presence in my house that wasn't there before. And I addressed it and rebuked it in Yahushua's name. And it was resistant. It did not leave. It slunk back, but it didn't leave. And so, sensing it still, I consulted the Most High, asking him, am I in sin? What have I opened a door? What's happening? Why is this presence here? Why is it allowed? Where did it come from? And so I just got quiet before the Most High, and he began to show me just some words, or just some impressions upon my heart about the fallen angels and about root cuttings. And I remembered reading in the book of Enoch about how the fallen angels taught their wives about root cuttings. And I thought, okay, well, what else could this be? And then I heard the word tinctures. And so I thought I need to look this up. So I just put into my search bar on my laptop, I just put in tinctures and fallen angels, and I began to see all of these sites about, herbal medicine and herbal remedies and tinctures and the process of making tinctures and the history of tinctures going. It says it goes all the way back to Egypt, but I believe it goes back further than that. I believe that these are some of the remedies and the things that were taught to the women by the fallen angels. And as we read here in the eighth chapter, I should say, of Enoch, it says, "Moreover, Azazel taught men to make swords, knives, shields, breastplates, and fabrication of mirrors, and the workmanship of bracelets and ornaments, and the use of paint, and the beautifying of the eyebrows, and the use of stones of every valuable and select kind, and all sorts of dyes, that they would become altered." In another version that I read, it says tinctures, not the word dyes. It said tinctures, so that they would become altered. And piety increased, and fornication multiplied, and they transgressed in all their ways. And Amazarach taught all the sorcerers and dividers of roots, and Armors taught the solution of sorcery. This is a form of medicine making. Baccaral taught the observations of the sky. They were taught signs, astronomy, the motions of the moons, and men being destroyed cried out, and their voice reached to heaven. The things that were taught to men, making of swords, those things are still happening. The war, those things are still happening. The fallen angels, their presence still in the earth, are still teaching men technology. Where do you think this stuff is coming from? How do you think technology has advanced so much in the past 50 years? These fallen angels are still teaching men about these things. Pharmacology, pharmakia. It's fallen angel, quote unquote, wisdom. And there are things that have crept into Israel that we're doing, and we're just innocently trying to seek methods of being healthy and being whole. But Messiah took stripes upon his back for our health and our healing. And he gave us foods that we're to eat and activities that we're to engage in order to be healthy. And ultimately, if we need to seek the things that he's given to us, herbs and things like that, He has to give us wisdom and knowledge and understanding regarding those things. He has led me to understand that making teas of herbs is perfectly fine because it's food. He said, let herbs, they're been given to us for food, not to make potions. And so these things came about by the fallen angels. And it has crept into Israel. It has certainly crept into the church. And it's leading us astray. It's more idolatrous behavior for Israel to become involved in to lead her farther away from her God, from her Elohim. I've seen people posting on their YouTube pages and on their other black owned social media sites. I've seen things for stones, crystals, amethysts, putting those things in necklaces and in bracelets, the making of metal and copper bracelets and things like that that people are selling. This stuff is old. It came to us by way of the fallen angels, and we have to put away every sin that would so easily beset us. And we have to run with patience the race that has been set before us, looking unto our Messiah, who is the author and finisher of our faith. He is the author and finisher of our healing. He is the author and finisher of everything that we need in this day and age. And right now we need to be drawing nearer to the Most High more than ever, with pure hearts, undefiled, keeping ourselves unspotted from this world. We can't do the things that they do. We've been set apart. And we all know this. I'm preaching to the choir here, that I feel like things have crept in. It certainly crept into my home, and bringing quote unquote alcohol spirits into my house. I felt it. It was there. It was a tangible presence. And after the Most High revealed this to me, I repented, of course. I poured all the alcohol down the drain. And it was unfortunate because it was quite expensive, but I poured it all down the drain. I got rid of all of the tinctures. And then I addressed that spirit again and told it to get out of my house. And I bound it, and I used the authority given to us by Messiah, and it obeyed. People, we cannot have power if we are in sin. I'm going to say that again. We cannot have power if we are in sin. Okay? And some of the things that we're engaging in, we're doing it ignorantly. If we depend on anything but the Most High and His wisdom that He's giving us through His Ruach, we're engaging in idolatry. I pray that you hear the plea. Turn away from the things of this world. Turn away. And let us all turn to the Most High with pure hearts, undefiled. Shalom.